Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But so then, all right, how do you get approached by somebody about doing porn, or how does this happen?
No, what happened is I was always super sexy in my social media, and I
Ah, okay.
always post like you know pictures like mouth with milk, or stuff like that, like maybe like artsy, but a lot of
Mm,
people don't see like that
right.
it's artsy. So I was working in an office, and they just fire me. Like, I think every time I got a job and they know my social media and know those pictures, like sexy pictures, like, whatever, nothing nude, I think that was a problem for the companies,
Right.
you
Wow.
know? So I'm like, okay, what I'm gonna do? I have to pay my rent in Miami. So I talked to a photographer, he's my friend, and he's like, I have a friend and he's owner to this company. It's like OnlyFans, but it's not OnlyFans, but it's kind of like the same.
Hmm.
And you can sell your pictures there. You have so much nude pictures that you don't even use. Like, start selling that.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay. So I start, and like in 1 week, I get the money for paying my rent and everything. And I'm like, okay, I like it, and I'm gonna
Because you
uh
were already doing the OnlyFans job for many years before you basically started an OnlyFans, right? It's like
Just for
yeah,
fun.
she was
yeah.
doing it for fun, so
Yeah,
it just
for
makes
fun.
sense.
Like, yeah, I have a lot of content like that. Like, I started doing like for a year, like and a year and a half, only selling nudes and like really short videos, touching myself or touching my boobs, like that. Like, nothing too crazy. And yeah, and then I like everyone's like, you have to go to LA. That's the industry are. And I came to LA. I love LA because remembers to my city, Caracas, and it's like the same, but of course in a better situation. But yeah, I love LA, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna move, and I move.
Mm.
Okay.
So, but what was it like actually getting into porn though? Did you enjoy just the environment, being on the set with dudes and everything?
Cause yeah, I think I love uh I love like work. I love the camera. So like being nude in camera, or like, making sex, front on camera. And I love like a lot of people is gonna watch this, and I love that.
That turns you on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. Like, yeah, when I like do this, and I love it.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, were you able to handle all the sex stuff, or was there anything that was a little difficult in
Mm,
terms of all the crazy stuff that people
in
do in porn?
porn?
Yeah.
Well, like, I don't have any like bad experience in my career. Um, but you can say like what you want to do or not. But one time I was getting crazy a little bit because I was working too much, like a lot of scenes. And I was feeling a lot like stress, anxiety, and because I don't think it's like healthy to make porn like every day. So
It's not a regular job.
yes, yes.
People try to make it like a regular job, but it's just not good for you to do
It's
that
so
every.
physically taxing,
Mm.
especially if you work for the studios and you're there the
See, I
entire
feel
day.
like I could do it every day.
I'm
Probably
We're
would
here
ruin my
for
life,
we're,
but you
we're
know.
here for like 3 or 4 hours
I know, but
sometimes,
I'm
you
saying I
know?
could do it every day. I don't
Yeah,
care.
I mean, for OnlyFans, it's different. It's so chill,
Right.
but when you work for, the companies,
Yeah.
it's so different. So that's the only thing. And I talk to the agent and I say, I can't, you know, I need to work less. That's the only thing, like, and the rest, it's a lot of like funny. For me, it's funny. For me, sometimes porn, it's like comedy, and I love comedy.
What's so funny about it?
Like, sometimes the stories
Okay.
that, sometimes like stupid stories, but at the same time, it's like it happens in real life.
But are you
You
ever
know,
getting fucked in the ass and you're just thinking like, wow, this is funny. This is hilarious right
well,
here.
no, 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 like situations
Yeah.
that
Right.
happens.
What's one story that stands out to you that you had to play out?
Well, I have a lot of stories, but they're like, for me, it's like complicated to say in English. But I have one that was like an anal scene, and I was like, I don't read the email, or the email they don't, say that that was anal.
Mm.
So I just came to the set like eating. I was like eating,
You weren't prepared.
and everyone was looking at me like, why you eating? And I was like,
What a funny job.
so like I was like so cool with my food, like, oh, this is so perfect. And the director's like, that was like a big dick, like a big movie, big cock. And
Right.
like, are you okay eating? Like, some people can eat. And I'm like, why? And he's like, it's anal day, and we have to, like, you know move the scene, like, no move, like, okay, well, let me switch the story. And
So they canceled the anal for you.
no, no, no,
You just
yeah,
do vaginal, right?
yeah, we make that like a regular scene.
I would be so mad if I was eating and someone came over to like ask me why I was eating. I'd
Yeah,
be
but
so
if you're
pissed.
dealing with somebody who's
It's because what happened is the day before I was shooting anal.
right.
And after that scene, another anal. And in my mind, it was like, it's no way that I'm going to have 3 anals on the road,
Yeah.
So I was like, no, this scene is no anal. And they're like, yeah, it's anal. And I'm like, bro, I'm not going to do 3 anal scenes. Like, some people can do it, but
you
no
basically
me.
starve for 3 days if you do that, right?
Yeah, like, it's, I don't know, like.
But if you're dealing with somebody who English isn't their first language, you should be super specific about everything, because it's like maybe they mentioned it, but they said it real
No,
quick and you didn't notice.
The email say boy, girl, BG, but they don't write the A, like BGA.
Well, that's really
And
them.
I'm
Their
like,
fault,
bro,
then, yeah.
I don't see the A here.
I'm
Like,
gonna eat. I
so,
don't see shit here.
and it's like, he was super good. The director was like, you know what? It's okay. Finish your food, and we're gonna.
Okay, but are you somebody where you're really enjoying the sex? Do you orgasm on scene and everything?
Yeah, no, every day, of course.
Certain sentences
But
she says